Hey guys, Clumsy here, and welcome back to ETS2. Beautiful morning. In the previous episode, we started our journey from Sweden. We bought this beautiful truck, this Scania R4 series truck, and I've had a couple of comments from you then. A lot of people are really experts when it comes to the Scania 4 series. Like, you guys know even all the parts which I did wrong, which are not compatible, which shouldn't be installed on a 4 series or weren't existing back then. So we'll do that, but we'll finish this journey first. So stay tuned and hang tight to your pants, right? But yeah, we'll fix that. One thing I can help with though is you guys told me that the Scania R4 series has like both auto and manual variants, but I think the more common type is the manual. So we'll do that instead of having it real automatic, which will go with an H shifter, and I hope I still know how to shift properly, but we'll see. All right, still have Google Map night mode. Beautiful engine sound from Krishmo V8 4 series. Will be somewhere. Okay, it's 931 kilometers. It'll probably take us 2 more episodes to get to Bergen. And then in Bergen, we'll be able to see the Scandinavia new areas. I like in particular this one. This one is pretty interesting. And I think this one as well. Yeah, but that bottom one is what I'm looking forward to the most. Anyway, right, good to go. I do have some updates. Hopefully nothing is wrong on your end, like audio visual thingamajigs. But, oh crap. For real? This? I don't want this setup. Wait. Didn't I... Let me see. What kind of transmission do we have? I remember I picked the 12 speed. But why do I have that kind of layout? Wait a minute. Maybe it's just this one. Yeah, not Volvo, just range. Yeah, okay. My bad. Now this should be more... feasible. Perfect. Alright, that's what I know. Good. Release the brakes. Right, and there we go. So remember when I guys told you about the Impending upgrade that I was planning? For those of you who are in the Discord server, and for those of you who are following me over at Facebook and Twitter, then you probably see that Christmas came a bit earlier for me, because I'm actually using my new parts now, and hopefully you can notice that as well with the smooth performance. I'm actually measuring my FPS right now. I don't show it to you because it will ruin your immersion, because there's going to be a floating number on the screen, so it's for me only. And I'll just let you guys know, but basically I'm stuck at 60 frames now. It's a constant 60 frames now. I can go higher, but it wouldn't make much sense because I'm recording up to 60 FPS only anyway. But yeah, the Impending upgrade, it happened a bit earlier, and I'll tell you all about it. So I was telling you guys that last video, I upgraded to the 1070, right? GTX 1070. It was beautiful. It made our frame rates very good, but still wasn't that good because there were some things that were getting slower because of the how do you call this? The CPU restrictions. Well, I was planning to upgrade to a Ryzen 5 1600 to help the CPU be a lot faster and be a lot better for streaming and recording. And now, because of that upgrade, you can see 60 frames. But why exactly did I upgrade much earlier than I planned? Because I was planning on doing this December 18th, if I remember correctly. Well, now that's a bit trickier to answer, because it just so happened that my wife So originally I was planning to upgrade on December 18th because it was going to be a Christmas gift for my wife, from my wife. So the plan is we trade Christmas gifts. I give her something, she gives me something, and we're both happy. So we're basically giving ourselves excuse to buy whatever you want. And for me, it's the upgrade. Now the problem is, well, it's not really a problem, but what happened is, last week we went to a mall, and we were looking around, looking for gifts for the family, because we're going home to the Philippines this Christmas. Let me stay here. And just so happened that when we were going around, she saw something she really liked. She saw something that really, like, one of those things that when you see it, it clicks, and then this is the one. This is the one I want. That's what happened when I first saw my wife. Yeah. If she's watching this, then I'll probably have plus points. But yeah, anyway, she saw this, and then she said, I want this. And then I was thinking, I didn't expect it actually, because she doesn't usually like shopping. For a woman, that's very unique, not wanting to shop. But at that point in time, she said, I want this. And it was a pair of earrings, and it was a bit on the pricey side, so I wasn't expecting her to like it at all. But then when she looked into my eyes, and then when I saw her eyes as she looked at me, I knew she liked it and she wanted it. So that weekend we bought her the earrings, and so she got her Christmas gift earlier. And then because I was and then I thought, wait a minute, if you got your gift now, maybe I should get my gift as well. If you got yours earlier, maybe I should get mine earlier too. And so right after she bought her earrings, I went to the computer shop that where I always get my parts from, and I checked with them, do you have the parts? And they said yes. Actually, they didn't even reply, because it takes a while for them to reply, because they're very famous here in Singapore, and people they reply to a lot of people. They interact with a lot of people on a daily basis, so they don't really. Wow, they actually stopped for me. Thank you. They don't really reply instantly. So I asked them, do you have this part and this part and this part? And then they no reply. And then I was so excited, I actually said, okay, so maybe we just go there and see. If the parts are there, then we get it. If they're not, then it's a sign. It's not yet time. I'll just wait till December or something. So we went there, and when we went there, they had stock on hand. So what I bought was a Ryzen 5 1600 CPU, Gigabyte AB350 Gaming 3 motherboard, and 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM from Corsair with 3200 megahertz speed. So yeah, it was there. It was a sign. So I bought it. I went home. I backed up my PC. I even had a checklist going, like what to do before upgrade, what to back up, what to make sure you store, and things like that. And yeah, I tried doing that, and it worked pretty well. So I think I was able to restore everything. But before that, so backed up everything, I have a checklist of what to do after the upgrade. And by the way, yeah, I still have early autumn in this profile. I forgot to switch to the late autumn. Sorry about that, but it's fine. I think it looks beautiful anyway. And I think, is that a beautiful photo op? Yeah. Yeah, I think it is. So, the parts were there. I bought it. We went home. I was super excited. My wife could barely talk with me. She could barely talk herself because she was so happy with her purchase. So we were both happy bunnies this weekend. And yeah, we said, okay, we're good. And then I was researching how to assemble my own PC because it was going to be my first time assembling my own PC. And it was a bit complicated because before, I remember back when I was in high school, I didn't even know which was the RAM and which was the video card and which was the motherboard even. So I was completely clueless about it before. I want to show some of the river. Let's go a bit farther. Yeah, that looks good. That looks pretty good. Rule of thirds. That one looks pretty nice. I'll take that. Maybe that one. Yeah, so throughout the week, thankfully, because I was preparing for my upgrade in December. So throughout the week, I was researching on my free time. I was researching how to assemble PC, what do I need to remember, which steps do I need to take first, things like that. So I've been studying the entire week. So when the weekend came and that surprise came, I was ready at least. So I didn't buy prematurely, like I didn't know what I was going to do because I was researching it already. So it was perfect. So I backed up my things. I disconnected all the wires and stuff, removed my old motherboard, put in the new parts one by one. It took me around 2 to 3 hours, I think, to assemble the whole thing. And I was looking at the manual, seeing if I connected all the wires and everything. But yeah, I actually saw a very good guide from, you might have heard of him if you're into computers as well. His name is Blunty. I think he's my favorite YouTuber when it comes to the hardware, the PC building and the hardware stuff like that. Because I know like the most famous one is probably Linus Tech Tips, but for me I like more Blunty style because he's more straight to the point, and what he does is more like real world stuff. He doesn't just test things for science. He tests things because that's like what will be happening in real life. So he tests with realistic scenarios in mind, and he's very straight to the point. He's very clear and concise. To explain things. So it's I like him. And I saw one of his videos like how to assemble a computer for dummies, something like that. And then it helped me a lot, really. Like lots of the basic stuff. And what ingrained to me in that video was it's not as hard as you might think. So if you guys were like me, where you didn't have a clue how to assemble, it's not as hard as you think. You have to really make an effort to mess up and break your PC, your parts. Yeah, just don't drop it. Right? But most of the connections, I know there are lots of connections. It's daunting. It's overwhelming sometimes. But most of the connections actually are shaped and designed in a way that you can only insert them to the right socket, and you can't even insert them, like there's only one direction that they would fit in, and as long as you don't force it too hard, you'll know if it's the right socket, if it's the right direction or not. And so as long as you make sure that all your 50. Why is this 50 here? So as long as you make sure that all of your connections are put in and nothing's jutting out and whatnot, you're going to be fine. So I managed to assemble everything in 2-3 hours, but it was super tiring for me, but because it was my first time. But I really learned a lot. And then I showed the end product over at Discord with the AMD CPU cooler and the parts and the lighting. The lighting it's not really a fancy PC, and I'm not a fan of those lighting desktops. So I don't really have those different lights and fancy whatnot. I just have the lights from the motherboard. It's a basic red one, which adds a bit of flavor, but not really like too much. Just a little bit of accent. So if you go over to the Discord server, you'll see that picture. And if someone requests this, I can also post it. But I'm very proud of that, even though what the guys told me over at the Discord was cable management was a bit messy. And honestly, I could care less about cable management. I'm not really an organized type of guy, so I don't really not really able to do things in a neat way, but I'm able to do things that make things work, but they're not neat looking. That's my philosophy. That's my style. So don't expect any like wow hardcore eye candy desktop builds. It's a desktop. It works. It works pretty well. All the connections are there, but don't expect it to look good. The wires are flying everywhere, but yeah, it works. That's the end point. And as long as it doesn't conflict with the performance, the heat, the longevity of the parts and whatnot, it's going to be fine. So yeah, I managed it, and when I opened the power, I turned on the power, it worked. I was super wow, I did it for the first time ever in my life. I was able to assemble a PC from scratch, you know, a motherboard, RAM, video card, everything. Or maybe not 100% from scratch, because I did have the case and the power supply already there, but I think it counts. I think that counts as a full build already. Yeah, so it worked. I was super happy. It booted up. I installed Windows. I activated it using my old account, my existing account for Windows 10. Wrong range. Sorry about that. Let's go to 11th here. Good. Man, I miss driving in manual. This is so good. Okay, there we go. So yeah, it was pretty nice. It was a success, but I was a bit stressed. I was a bit tired. I was really tired. Like I finished around 1 a.m. I think. I started around 8 p.m. with the backups and everything. The assembly itself took around 2 to 3 hours, but all the things in between, the studying, the research, the last minute reviews, last minute checks. So I ended up around 1 a.m. So that's how long? 5 hours in total. But I have my new PC set up now, and so at 1 a.m. I wanted to sleep already, or I knew I needed to sleep, because I'm not really a night owl. I'm a morning person. So usually at 11 p.m. I'm knocked out already. So 1 a.m. was really pushing it for me. Wow, it's beautiful here. Whoa, that bus really cut it short, huh? Okay, fine. So yeah, 1 a.m. I knew I needed to sleep, and my wife was so supportive. She stayed with me. She stayed up with me the entire time, and I was calling her sometimes, like, "Oh, go, come here, check this. It's connected now. Look, it's spinning. Look, it's lighting up. All the geeky things." And that's why I love her. She's really supportive, and she lives with my weirdness. Full support all the way. Yeah, so it's a success. But then there was one more thing that I haven't done yet. Speed limit is 90 here. It's a bit strange. Wait, let me do a quick check, alright? Because this is not a very large road, and we're a truck. Show truck limit, okay. And let me change that, because I noticed this. I did want to change to that sunset look. Yeah, a bit more scenic, even though it's a bit static. Let's have a look at the map. We are somewhere in Sweden, I believe. And I didn't know Sweden had 90 speed limit areas. Alright, we're in Sweden, crossing over to Norway pretty soon. And then we'll see how far we get before we have to end the episode. Yeah, see that lightning? It was just fixed. Still look good though, so it's fine. So yeah, there was still one major point that I haven't done yet, and that's overclocking. So a lot of firsts in this build, and I'll try to update the about page of my YouTube channel, so you guys can see the exact specs, the upgraded specs now. So wait a minute, let me just check that I'm on the right road here. Okay, good. And what time is it? It's 2 something a.m. So it probably don't need lights, huh? PM rather, 3 PM. I'm just looking at the analog clock there below the speedo. That circle, small circle, it says 3:15. Yep, 3:18. Close enough. So there was one more aspect that was missing in that build, and that was the overclocking. The overclocking thing is something that I really steered away from before, because wow, this is like very steep climb. Let's stick to 7th gear here. Okay, maybe we can stick to 8th gear. Good. Wow. That really is very steep. It's like they don't want us to get to Norway. Before you reach the border, before you cross the border, you have to prove yourself worthy of being able to climb. Otherwise, you're not worthy enough for Norway. But here we are. We did it. How's my fuel? Fuel is 3/4. I was looking at that gauge on the top left. Top left gauge. That's the fuel. Up, 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 up. Did the guy stop? Yes, he did. Thankfully. So yeah, the overclocking thing. That was a big no-no for me before, because overclocking to me, well, I guess to most of us, especially if you're not familiar with it, sounds dangerous. I mean, why would you do something that is beyond the normal? Why would you push something beyond its normal means of operation? But then again, having an AMD Ryzen, it's pretty much built for overclocking. AMD is pretty friendly when it comes to that. Like all the CPUs they sell are very friendly when it comes to overclocks. And they're basically built for that. So the 1600, this one I have, the default clock speed is 3200, and then people can push it up to around 4000 megahertz. From 3200 to 4000, that's like an 800 megahertz jump. But it's not as easy as it sounds. I mean, it depends where you're looking from. But yeah, it's not as simple as flipping a switch, but it's not as dangerous as being able to like fry your CPU or something. As long as you maintain, as long as you keep within the parameters, the safety parameters, you should be okay. Like your computer would probably crash sometimes if you do some wrong settings, but it would not destroy your parts. And so you'll just have to restart. Mostly it's like that. Good. So yeah, I decided I want to overclock it because 3200 is a bit low. Because my Intel i5 before was around 3600 clock speed, I think. So in terms of speed alone, the Ryzen would be slower. But in terms of cores and overall performance, of course Ryzen would be better, because have to turn right. Because Intel, my i5 4590 only had 4 cores and no multi-threading, so just 4 cores, or hyper-threading is it called. So just 4 cores, period. This Ryzen 1600 has 6 cores and has hyper-threading, so that's like 12 cores all in all. So from 4 versus 12, it's like 3 times the improvement. But with the clock speed being a bit lower on the Ryzen, that's what I wanted to change. I said to myself, at the very least, if I'm going to overclock this, I want to be able to have almost the same clock speed as my old Intel i5, but with triple the cores, triple the parallel capabilities, things like that. Okay, let's turn here. And guys, very sorry for this episode if you're not really into the computer stuff, if you're more just into the truck stuff, but I'm just really super excited about my PC that I want to share it with you, right? So hope you don't mind that much. But in case you're not interested, do let me know in the comment section so I can minimize these topics moving forward. But just give me this episode at least, and then comment out, and the next episode I'll adjust. Alright? And the same way, if you're interested in this topic, let me know as well, so at least I know that I'm not the only one who's super excited. But yes, okay. So overclocking. So I wanted to have at least the same clock speed, so around 3.6, 3600 megahertz. And that would mean I would basically retain my existing clock speed, because clock speed is very important for games like ETS2. If I'm actually monitoring my my CPU and my GPU utilization, temperature, and things like that right now. ETS2 is currently a bit of a single core machine or game, and a lot of games are like that. Like even if you have 12 cores or 12 threads, for example, games usually are utilizing only one of those cores, one of those threads, because they're not optimized very well in that regard for parallel processing. So usually a very high clock speed would equate to a very high performance when just playing games, alone. But then again, it's not really I'm just not really playing games, am I? I'm streaming, I'm recording, I'm editing, and all those utilize CPU. I think we have to stay here. Is this automated? Auto pass, yes. Did it? Yeah, there we go. Okay, 9th gear maybe. Good. Let's turn on our lights. It's getting a bit dark. Alright. So yeah, lots of games have utilize only a single core, so you'd want that clock speed to still be as high as possible, so you don't get limited by the game performance itself. And that's why if I stick with 3200, it might feel like I'm a bit poorer in performance when just playing games, and that's what I didn't like. I want the upgrade to feel like an upgrade in every sense of the way, no negative things at all. So I wanted to overclock it. And so I started overclocking. I was a bit scared. I was very nervous. And I tried being a bit conservative with the values, things like that. And if you're interested in overclocking, more details, let me know. But I'm not going to share like what I changed exactly, because that will be a bit too technical, and maybe people are not interested in that. So let me know in the comments if you're interested or not, so I can adjust what I'm talking about, right? But anyway, I started overclocking, did some tests. Computer crashed a couple of times. So the basic concept is you set something up, you set the clock speed higher, you set the voltage a bit higher, and then you test it. There are like programs. Look at this. OMG, it's my first time, I think. This is the rainbow from Foggy Weather. I think it's better to take a photo once we've turned left. So let's do that. I think it's my first time seeing a rainbow in this game. Kirill, thanks a lot for this. Okay, that one I think is a perfect photo opportunity. So I set the clock speed, the voltage. I did some performance tests, did some... Oh, beautiful. Oh, but that post. Maybe if we zoom out a little. That can work. Well, we can maybe... Let me see. What would be the best combination here? The best combination would be the truck without the post, but we work with what we have, right? So instead, let's make it that like a huge antenna. Or we can say... we can do it like this. We can say... Ooh. If I do that, I don't see the rainbow at all. And maybe we remove the blur. There we go. So I want the rainbow. I want to frame the truck with the rainbow. So maybe let's go like that. And maybe we can go a bit narrower. Yeah, that looks good. Is this like middle? I want it a bit symmetrical. as symmetrical as possible. Yeah, that works for me. And then maybe one more like this. Yeah, the post is just really ruining the picture, but maybe a bit of an off tangent shot. Maybe that would look a bit better. Like that maybe. Yeah, that looks good. So yeah, overclocked a bit. And what gear am I at? 7th gear maybe? Still a bit low. Ooh, beautiful sun. Beautiful sun. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. Yeah, so right now if I'm looking at my performance, I have 12 threads. My first thread is at 91%. The rest of the threads are like 7%, 10%, 20%. So only that first thread is being utilized to its maximum. First core maybe. I'm not really familiar with how it works with cores versus threads. I just know that with hyper-threading or multi-threading or whatever, you're able to basically double your threads will double as compared to your cores. But I'm not sure what the impact of that is. I mean, more parallel performance because more parallel tasks which can be done, but yeah, not really too familiar with it. Do let me know if you know more details on that, right? That would be a very interesting topic to learn. I can still see the rainbow. Beautiful. So yes, overclocked. I did a couple of tests. So how it goes is you set the clock speed, you set the voltage, you boot up your computer, you hope that it boots up at all. Because sometimes if you give some very incompatible settings, if you set some very incompatible values, like maybe, I don't know, too high clock speed and too low voltage, then it won't even work. Your PC won't even boot up. Things like that. Wow, things are really slowing down here in this area. I wonder why. I'm not maxing anything out, so it's a bit weird. Maybe it's the CPU, or maybe it's just a limitation of the game, performance-wise. So yeah, it's you hope that it boots up, and when it boots up, you have some tools which measure performance. You like Cinebench for benchmarking purposes. You see how fast your CPU is, and then there are like stress tests to simulate load on your CPU, like imagining or putting like 100% load on your CPU, all your cores or all your threads, and staying at that load for a certain period of time, like an hour or more, and making sure that your system is stable with your new settings. And that's where the tricky part is, because sometimes when you just test something like for a few seconds or minutes, it works fine, but after for me, I think the magic number is around 15 minutes or 20 minutes. If your system is okay after that, then it's probably okay. If it goes after an hour and it's okay, then it's most likely stable. Maybe it will. Of course, it's more effective if you are able to make it longer than that, but I don't think it's that necessary. I don't know. You let me know. But yes, so that's what I was doing, and the computer was crashing a lot because I was really wanting to get that clock speed. But at the same time, I didn't want the CPU to be very hot. So I was measuring the temperature, and because I didn't have any special cooling system, I have a very simple case. I have a stock cooler, no fancy cooling, no liquid, no all-in-one water cooling techniques or parts. So it's basically stock cooling. So I was very limited in my options. And so at the end of the day, I was just finishing my stress tests today before a few minutes before I started this recording, and it was stable. I finally arrived at around 3650 megahertz. So 3650 megahertz, 3650. That's where I'm at right now. So from a stock of 3200, I'm up to 3650. I'm happy with that because I mean I live in Singapore. It's very hot already. I have very poor cooling because it's stock, and my case isn't really the best for overclocking. So given all those limitations, I would say 3650. It's a done deal for me. I'm pretty happy with that. As long as it's stable, I'm super happy. I tried it with 3700, but I would require to up the voltage, and more voltage means more heat. And it was getting too hot already for my CPU. So no thank you. So yeah, I think I'm sticking with this 3650. I hope it's stable. But we'll see. When I start streaming on Wednesday and Friday, we'll see. But yeah, I hope it works pretty fine. This also means that because of the upgrade, I'm able to up a lot of things, especially when it comes to streaming. I will probably try streaming at 1080p, 60 frames, because before I was only streaming at 720, 60 FPS. So I'll increase it to 1080, and then I will 1080 60, and then I will up the bitrate to 6000 bps. kbps. And I hope that's enough. Because 6000 is actually the limit on Twitch. These are actually the settings that Squirrel is playing with. Not as good in terms of resolution and bitrate. That's what he uses, like 1080 60 FPS at 6000 bitrate. But there are other parameters like encoding profiles, like the faster, super fast, very fast, slower. And I know for sure he has a better encoding. I can't do that because he has a dedicated PC. But I think 1080 60 FPS, 6000 bitrate, it should be very beneficial for the stream, for those who watch online. It wouldn't really matter a lot for those who are watching in YouTube, because in YouTube what you're seeing, the VODs, are the high quality files already. They are always 1080. But for those who are watching on Twitch, those are 720 60 and a 2500 bitrate, and I'm using like a hardware encoder there, an NVENC, NVENC, and it doesn't look very good. So with this beautiful CPU upgrade, I should be able to use software encoding, which is the best for streaming, because you're able to efficiently make use of all the bitrate you have, the limited bitrate. And so net result is you should see a much better picture when streaming, right? So I'll try 1080 60 FPS, 6000 bitrate, and I hope your internet speeds, for those who are watching me online, can cope with that. If you can't, you should be able to I should be able to have those quality settings already. I think I usually have them. So you should be able to manually set it to 720, set it to down. You make it you downscale on Twitch. But I'm going to be streaming at 1080, 60, and 6000 bitrate. So we'll see how that goes, right? So I'm really hoping for it. Alright, wait a minute, it's super dark now. I guess it's time to sleep, and maybe it's time to end the episode. Let me see. Actually, that's going to be pretty interesting. Yeah, let's end the episode here. Next episode, we'll explore more and focus on Scandinavia mod, because I mean, I was talking the entire time about computers, and I think this would be a good end of the computer topic. Next episode, we can go again at the ETS2 topic. Yeah, and Scandinavia map mod topic by Chris94. So we're focused and we don't mix the topic so much. So yeah. Turn on bright lights. Thank you. High beams. Also, yeah, New Mexico has been released. For sure we'll play that on Friday, but if I can get that earlier, I'll try to. I hope SES gives me a chance to provide me a copy earlier. I did email them, but I haven't received a reply yet. Granted, I did email during the weekend, so maybe they just haven't seen it yet. Cross your fingers, guys, and if you know someone from SES, give a good word for me, alright? Put in a good word for me. Anyway, yeah, so I'm really looking forward to the streams, to the future videos. So expect a lot smoother frame rate from me. Hopefully you like what you're seeing. Hopefully it is much smoother from your point of view as well. And let me know if you have any comments, right? And we can also improve, like add more stuff to this. That means like add more cars. Maybe I can make use of SIP's realistic traffic, real traffic density again, which will increase the traffic. It will increase the things that have to be rendered, things like that. But maybe it will be fine. Also, wait a minute, maybe I can also increase my mirror distance now. Although I'm not really sure, because as I mentioned, ETS2 doesn't really utilize so much yet the multiple cores or multiple threads. Like it's pretty much just using the single core and then maybe distributing some tasks to other cores, but not so much. So maybe it won't be the best. But yeah, we can try. Let me know if you prefer having real traffic density and other add-ons, alright? So we'll try it as much as possible. But comment it out, you have to let me know in the comment section. Yep, beautiful. Okay, this one is going to be a bit tricky. Yeah, let's downshift a little. Pitter-patter sounds. Look at that guy overtaking on a hairpin. What is this? Initial D. There he goes again. Good luck with that. Okay. That's like his third try to overtake. Okay, we're almost there. Almost there at the gas station. Let's fuel up and take a break, sleep, and resume the next day. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I know it was a pretty technical episode. Lots of, actually almost all the topics I talked about was just about computer parts and my upgrade. But hopefully you guys are interested in that as well. If not, no problem, just let me know. But yeah, you'll have to let me know in the comments so I know how to adjust, alright? Come on, move it. And yes, do let me know as well if you were interested in the topic, and if you want to know more details, let me know. I'll be happy to talk about it because I'm really proud of this. I'm really proud of what I was able to do finally. Like I said, first time building my own PC, first time overclocking, and I'm much more aware of these things now thanks to the experience I had. I'm no expert, for sure I'm no expert, but yeah, I know a lot more than what I knew before. Okay, let's go inside. Seatbelt. Turn on the electronics. Perfect timing. Perfect sync with the sound fixes. FX. Okay, let's just park up here. Won't even bother turning out my wipers. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to New Mexico DLC, and it's perfect timing because we'll be playing New Mexico with upgraded PC already, so we should be getting very, very good frame rates, maximum visuals, and whatnot. Okay, let's sleep. See you guys in the morning. 9:24. Oh, that's like me. Early bird. Still a bit dark, but beautiful time to start the episode. The next episode, that is, and a perfect time to end the episode here as well. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. Really appreciate all your comments and all your support. Hope you are still liking the series. If you did enjoy this episode, please give me a thumbs up, hit that like button, and let me know what you think. Looking forward to your comments. And yes, feel free to share to your friends. Encourage you to do so. Let us spread the love. And I thank you for watching. And if you have any other info, let me know. Catch you soon. This is the Clumsy Geek signing off for now. Thanks and bye-bye. See you in the next episode.